Good morning, good morning, good morning, my beautiful friends. For those of you that are watching, thank you. How do I know? There, okay, there. I was always curious how I knew if my mic was working. There's a little green bar right there. Please make sure you say hello in the comments. And if you haven't done so, please make sure you subscribe on YouTube. I stream, I don't make any money off of it. I don't expect any money off of it, but I'm always trying to expand my audience. And we just went over 5,000 subscribers. And if you share this, if you copy the link, if you pasted it, it would help me out. And it's free, it takes 5 seconds. So if you would do that, thank you very much. For you first time watchers, thank you very, very much for tuning in. My name is Patrick Almond. I run a marketing agency called Stop Doing Nothing Media here in Oklahoma City. And I go live on occasion. I'm not as regular on the lives as I used to be, but it seemed like a good day. I'm going to be working at my desk anyways today. All of us are having a stressful couple of weeks. So I thought, hey, let's fire this up. Just so you know, let's get this out front. This is not a political bitch fest, okay? I really don't give a damn about party or leanings right now. Today, I want this to be about us lifting each other up, talking about what's going on a factual basis, and finding ways to move forward, to find solutions for the stresses we're having in our life. And if you're not having any stress in your life, then congratulations. Congratulations. You are a rare, magnificent, beautiful beast. We all have stress. Okay. It could have been November, October, August stress. It doesn't really matter. We all live with something, with a monkey on our back, a little devil on our shoulders, all the time. It feels recently, yes, a lot more has piled on. But often that happens, when we have massive changes and massive shifts. And um, yeah, it's I'm not gonna say it's yeah, let's say it's bad. It's bad for me, okay? A lot of stress. On the plus side, business is going good for me, which I absolutely love. Hopefully business, if you are an entrepreneur, or even if you work for somebody else, hopefully your business is starting off well this year. It's starting off pretty good for me, which I'm very happy. I had a good plan, but I'm seeing unexpected revenue and unexpected clients, and my business is growing even without me trying that much, which is hey there, Mrs. Goodness gracious, I have got to get used to the name now. It's goodness gracious, it's not Larson. Good morning there, Mrs. Larson. Sorry, I got to get used to that name. Stephen, brother, as always, thank you for popping in early. And Richard Hayes, I know you're all over my feed, all over the place and everything, so I appreciate you also. So, yeah, this is not meant to be a political bitch fest. I got some uplifting news. And if you've had something good go on in your life recently, please share it with me so we can celebrate you. Okay, I love celebrating people doing good things, I love celebrating wins. And in that vein, the first thing I wanted to talk about was something I saw, something that not gonna lie, it brought me to tears a little bit. As I was this morning, I decided, like an hour and a half ago, I was going to go live, and I'm thumbing through news. And one of the things I like to watch is I like to watch. If you guys have never tuned into one of these, watch it. One of the things I love to watch is there are judges in this country. That's everything. Let's for those of you, because I know I do have some international watchers. For those of you, everything I say is U.S. based, so everything is going to be surrounding countries, states, cities, counties, things like that. So there are accounts on Instagram and on social media that are basically judges in courtrooms recording them, handing out justice, handing out cases, and it's a beautiful thing to see. That might be one of my favorite things to watch online. Is I can't remember the Instagram account I follow, but basically there's a camera on the judge. And the defendants are in front of him. And these are small cases. This is like traffic court, small crime court, small claims court, things like that. And it shows, somebody coming up with a minor drug possession charge or speeding or things like that, and how they interact with the judge and what the judge doles out. And oftentimes sometimes it's good to see, sometimes it's bad to see. But it's I always like seeing justice. I've always been a fan of being like in the galleries at like Congress, or like sitting in like the back of a courtroom. I've always loved that stuff. And I was watching one this morning that honestly made me a little teary eyed. There was a black gentleman who walked up. He was very colorful clothes. He looked like a character for sure. Probably dressed a little bit more flamboyantly than I would have dressed. And the judge went through the case like, you're charged with possession, yada 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 yada, and then the prosecution read the case, and the case was as the prosecution, right? He's like, the person was seen crossing the street illegally. After a subsequent search, marijuana was found on him, and the judge was like, wait, what? The initial stop was him jaywalking, walking while black, and then walking while black, he was searched and marijuana was found on him, and that's why he's in court today. And the judge was like, no, mm-mm, mm-mm. There's no crime for walking while black. He told the guy, he said, this case ain't gonna fly. So he told the guy to sit down. He was gonna work with the prosecution to basically get everything dismissed. But he also told the guy, he's like, you're in a high risk category. You cannot make bad decisions. But there's no crime for walking while black. And so he gave the guy advice. And that's what I really love to see is when a judge tells someone, he's like, you listen, this is your first strike. I'm giving you more opportunities. Or you escaped, you escaped, you got a close call here. Don't screw it up. I don't want to see you back in here again. Because if people come back to the judge over and over, the judge is like, I've seen you before. What the hell are you doing here? I gave you a chance last time. But anyways, the way the judge handled this case, he's like, he realizes like you were walking while black, and then they searched you and found marijuana. Judge is like, no, we're not gonna let this one through. And that really, for some reason, that made my eyes a little bit moist there. And so that's my uplifting message. That's how I wanted to start my stream today, is uplifting about seeing that. By the way, the judge was 100% white. The defendant was 100% black. So I've never been a fan of blanket categorizing, people by race or people by role. You think oftentimes in my world of blackness, pigmentation, we often think that, people in power of authority that are white, that are not the same race as us, are against us, okay? And I've never believed that. Do we have systemic issues that we are constantly battling? 100%. But not everybody of every group is against your group. And I accidentally made that very blanket statement, but it's very correct. You have a group, okay? Your group is, pilots, black people, your party, your leaning, your race, your gender. I don't believe that everybody in groups should be stereotyped in any group whatsoever, because I can always find examples of people in group who go against what that group norm would be, or they don't get pigeonholed, or they're not pigeonholed, or they're not summarized in a way that they are stereotyped. Stereotype, that's the word I was looking for. Sorry, I couldn't get it out. I better sip on this coffee some more. Oftentimes people do not react to the way that people view them as stereotypes. I mean, you see me walking down the street, and there are people that make certain judgments about me. And I've been walking in a mall before many, many years ago, where someone looked at me and clutched their purse instantly. Okay. The judge had the option to put that guy in jail that day. And he didn't. And it made me feel good. So I love seeing justice doled out like that. Judge on YouTube that does the right thing by individuals. Let's get this comment up here from Steven. Because Steven, it may be the same guy, man. It may be the same guy. Is it the judge? He's kind of like, for lack of a better term, he dresses very flamboyantly, and he's got fashion sense I wish I had. But like the judge video part is on top and the defendant video part is on the bottom. Looks like kind of a, here I go, not stereotyping, but looks like a white nerdy guy. He's got glasses. It may be the same guy. This one I saw was on Instagram, Steven, but it may be the same guy. I don't know if it is, but if it is, I love that guy. And there's another one where it's an older black judge. He's very sophisticated with he's got white facial hair. And those are the two that I've run across accidentally. I think I subscribed to them, but I love seeing justice doled out. And justice is not always getting what the prosecution wants or the defendant wants. Justice, and we're kind of segueing into the rest of the show here. Definitely same guy. Cool. Okay, cool. Thanks, Steven. Yeah. So I love that guy. And there are times where he has to dole out justice, and it's not a happy ending for the person. You come in one time for jaywalking while black, and you have some marijuana on you. You 100% deserve to be let off, maybe barely with a slap on the wrist, maybe more like a finger tap on the wrist, okay? You come to this guy's place, and it's your fifth time for cocaine possession and intent to distribute. You know what? Your ass needs to be behind bars, okay? 100%. So justice is not always justice is deserved by the law and the opinion of the person doling out the justice. And I love seeing justice served. I love seeing people who are not criminals uh, go and get off with a slap on the wrist. And I love seeing people that are criminals getting the book thrown at them. So I thought that was very uplifting to me to say today. And like I said, it brought me to tears a little bit. I didn't want to fester on it too much. Bear with me real while I scan all the places I went live. The fun part about all this tech stuff is I have to press go live several places and make sure everything's streaming. Okay, it is okay. So let's start running through my agenda today. You know me, I tend to be very uplifting, and oftentimes in the stream, I'll talk about business a lot. Today, I'm going to branch off from that a little bit, but again, like I stated in the beginning, this is not a political bitch fest. And also, I want to hear from you. Let me know what's on your mind about what's going on recently in the news, okay? It can be what's going on with our government. It can be what's going on with aviation, which as a pilot is absolutely breaking my heart right now, or anything else that's on your mind that you want to talk about. And I know that this is a public forum, and I know not everybody gets comfortable sharing their thoughts online as much as I am, because a lot of times, you have a job or you have grandparents that may see your comments on social media, because I believe the comments from this will actually show up on my Facebook stream. So if you're not comfortable with that, you'll see a number, it's going to be right down here someplace, 405 If you want to share something with me, but you don't want it in the public world, text that number, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have text that number, and that is going to come to my business line and won't even tell me who you are. It'll just tell me a phone number texted me, and I will read that, and I will obviously not divulge your information, but I will get that number. I will get that comment, and we can talk about that without exposing your identity. Okay, I want everyone to be comfortable here. I'm not always necessarily a hold your hand kumbaya kind of guy, but I want people to be able to share their thoughts and their feelings comfortably without risk of losing their job, if you will. Okay. Um, and then again, I was catching up on the news online, and I've never been much of a Van Jones fan, but I saw something from him recently also, and this made me feel a little bit better also. You've got to forgive your neighbors for how they voted, okay, regardless of party. We all live in different realities, okay? We all live in different realities on social media. My social media feed is not the same as your social media feed. Your social media feed is not the same social media feed that your neighbor across the street has, okay? We are all seeing different realities. The challenge and, and the goal should be for us, though, to kind of share those realities so we have a common existence and we can exist in this planet, on this country, in an agreeable fashion, okay? In agreeable fashion. Not that we have to agree, not that we have to agree, but we have to work to ways in an agreeable fashion. So let's talk again about what's going on in the world. Again, no political bitch fest. I want to emphasize that. If I think I'm a hardcore centrist. I don't know what they call me, but I think I'm a hardcore centrist. Let me know. We've got a little bit of a challenge here in the USA, because that's where my life is. That's how I make my income. We've got a little bit of a challenge in the USA. We've got huge shakeups going on. We've got people losing work, people losing jobs, which scares the heck out of me. I've always believed that the person in office tries to run things like a business. And when you come into a business, you always want to, boost the income, cut the expenses, make or break a profit margin. Okay, that's what you get paid for as a CEO. And that's, I would think, primarily why you get compensated as the leader of the country. But I believe we are about to have a lot of unemployment. And that really concerns me, because unemployment, lack of money, can be stressful on the individual. Okay, and I know I know firsthand. Some of you watching have been in that situation. I'm not going to say that firsthand. Firsthand, I know that's happened to me, I guess, and I know some of you watching have been in that situation where lack of food, lack of money, something like that. Can you believe that? My freaking cat wants to come in and bother the live stream. Everyone loves a kitty, right? But I really fear that we are headed towards a lot of unemployment, which really, really bothers me. I also don't like the fact that we appear to be in a state of high political retribution. High political retribution. I don't consider myself a politician. I very rarely talk about the topic, but we have sides, and We love to battle. We love to battle about the small things, the small petty things, and we love to battle about the big giant things. But one of the more, and that's okay. We should be debating the important topics and we should be debating the important issues. However, our decisions that we make on how we govern each other should not be based on retribution. Okay? If I get into a political office that you had and I don't like the decisions that you made, I should not enact retribution on you as a result. That is beyond petty. I mean, let's assume, of course, that we're not talking about something that harms life or property, okay, or harms the individual. Um, we should not be petty in politics. And I read a quote a while back. I don't know if it's still in my notes here. That that office should not be one of pettiness because it has great power. And as we are seeing, we are having petty retributions for being in big power. And I say they're petty because they the definition they match the definition of that word. But I want to see us working on the bigger problems. Price of eggs. Please lower the price of eggs. Out of anybody in the world, trust me, I want to lower the price of eggs. I eat like half a dozen eggs in every single meal, 5 to 6 eggs in every single meal. If anybody wants the price of eggs lowered, it's going to be me. Trust me. I want the price of eggs lowered so I can eat more of them. I'm going to be probably at the gym later today or something. I don't know. I've been jamming up my fingers recently, and I can't bend that finger, and this one I jammed up, and it's amazing when you're lifting bars and dumbbells. You kind of need fingers around you there. So I'm really concerned about the price of things going up. I'm really concerned about foreign relations. People that are on the same continent as us and other continents coming after us, and that's stressing me out a little bit. Let me see what else was in my notes. And I'm the thing, and I don't think my feelings are. I don't think my feelings are isolated or very standalone-ish, if you will. Okay, I was looking at a rating recently of Reuters or AP or something that did some polling, and the person in the office has so far the worst rating in that job compared to, you know what? Compared to himself from the previous time. I think there might be somebody in there, but like at this point in time where we are in history, after someone's been voted into the executive office, they rated like the top 10, top 20 worst people who have the poorest reviews right now. And the worst one is him in office right now. I think the second one is Biden. And then between Biden and the first time this guy was in office, he occupies 2 of the top 3 spots of the worst rating so far in office. Okay. My feelings are not standalone. They're not isolated, and they don't. People that voted him in office, I know I've got some personal friends who are not happy about their choice and about the decisions being made. Okay, so I am looking for ways to take more action. I am looking for ways to get more involved. And in the past, I've tended to stay out of politics. I don't know. And if you have some ideas, I'm always open to your ideas as to ways to get more involved in the process. Um, yeah. Oh, hey, Ryan, man, I hope you're feeling better. Man, I know you were sick, but yeah, I even feel myself, Ryan, getting a little teary eyed when I think about this week. It's been a rough week for our world, man. I've been thinking about you, Ryan. I really have. I really have, man. I hope you and Hannah are well. I hope you're getting better. Stephen, the USA and the UK are broken and keep breaking, but I think, in tinfoil hats, the world is slowly breaking apart. Power, money, greed, and wars. You're not wrong, Stephen. You're not wrong, man. It feels that way. And normally I don't get teary-eyed when I talk about politics or this stuff, but man, everybody has a breaking point. And man, I really am reaching mine. But at the same time, I can be hopeful. Okay, I can be hopeful. I really can. And my hope comes from the fact that I'm trying to figure out what kind of actions I can take on whether it comes to voting, whether it comes to just lasting 4 years. Whether it comes to lasting 4 years, I'm older. Let's face it, I have a higher chance of probably dying due to old age than some of the people watching my stream, unless you're older than 55 or 56 or 57. I'm getting on in age, and so who knows? I might not last the 4 years. I might contract some fatal disease. I hope not, but I'm hoping in my lifetime we rebound. I don't know if we're going to rebound anytime in the next 4 years, but I'm hoping in my life we rebound to a better place. And again, let's be uplifting, okay? Let's get this up. It's uplifting. So we're gonna kind of bounce back and forth in between politics and just news in general. And we can talk a little bit of shop. We can talk a little bit of business. I've got to work today, so we're gonna talk about that for sure. Let's bounce over to aviation for a little bit, okay? I don't ever claim to be the news, but my friend Ryan, who's watching, is a flight instructor and a corporate pilot. I'm I'm a low time, single engine pilot. I just, hop around the puddle jumpers and little Cessnas, things like that. And man, it's been a rough week. It really has. I don't have to tell you guys the news. You know the news. I got a text from a good friend of mine, whatever evening that happened. Um, I was like, Stephen, you've always got brilliant stuff here. So let's get this. Let's get this on the screen here. Add to broadcast. What'd you say, Stephen? Here, let's get this up so I can see it. For those of you who are not, forgive me for dragging and dropping this live. The problem is deeply rooted. I'm not a conspirator, but the people controlling the flow of money are the massive orgs that hold power in our governments. We do hold the power of change. Exactly. And that last line is important. And that last line that Stephen just said there is something that we have to hold on to. We do hold the power to change. We do hold power to change. We do hold that power to change. That's what's keeping me. That's what's keeping me somewhat hopeful. That's really what's keeping me somewhat hopeful. Let's see, what did Ryan say here? So, and again, Ryan, man, I hope you're feeling good. Ryan's got all kinds of great words. Let's see here. So just so you know, this gentleman here who put this comment, Ryan Johnson, is a highly experienced pilot. Okay, highly experienced pilot and instructor. Okay. I have got mad respect for Ryan. And if you ever have a chance, make sure you hop over to his YouTube channel and subscribe. Also, remind me of the name of this YouTube channel, Ryan. It's a weird feeling watching events unfold over DCA. CAFO took an extra 5 seconds saying goodbye at the gate, decided to pull back to 250 at 10,000 knots. 5 seconds sooner, didn't see the alt and pulled back 5 seconds later. You look at everything you can do with other books, and small little things add up to the fate. Yeah, and that's something I learned a long time ago. I have made mistakes for flying. Here locally, I went up flying one day when it was confession time. I went up flying one day when it was with my flying club, and it was a little bit windy. And Ryan will tell you, and I will tell you 100%, because I know we're both logical, smart guys, and we're not bad looking either. You always got to trust the good looking people, right? Any aviation accident is a series of decisions, bad or good, either one. Every aviation avoidance and every aviation accident. Why is that? Every aviation accident. I don't know why that's so hard to roll off the tongue. Is a series of decisions. It's a series of decisions. What Ryan's talking about here, extra 5 seconds here, change speed, change altitude, do things a little bit sooner, do things a little bit later, and it's the delicate balance between a flight completing with a close call and everyone going, whew, we used our experience to avoid that, and a disaster. Okay, there's a big difference, and that's what Ryan's talking about here. Is if you go back, every aviation accident is just a series of decisions, and this was a series of decisions that led to this. Okay. There is no blame. There is no blame in anybody in any political office. I don't care how high it is. And I say this, fuck, let's get it out. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up if you don't know what you're talking about. I don't care if you've watched 100 hours of YouTube videos on aviation accidents. I don't care if you got an introductory ride when you were 16 in a Cessna 172 and you haven't touched a plane since. I don't care if you have 20,000 hours as a flight instructor. Us in aviation, we probably know, we know a little bit more, and we know how the airspace works, and we know how planes works, and we know what the rules are. We know what the rules are going up and down the Potomac. We know what the glide path is. We know what the speed should be at every range. Ryan will tell you he's got speeds he should be at every place. And every time he's taking off or landing, everybody in aviation knows that you're supposed to be at a certain place at a certain time, and you're supposed to follow the rules given to you. And if you don't, accidents happen. And I heard something mentioned in the news by an aviation expert that we all end up remembering at this point. It's that the rules of aviation, all the rules we have in aviation, are written with blood. Okay, they are written because a previous accident happened, and it was a series of bad decisions, and we don't want it to happen again. And I don't even know if it's back there. I don't have one right here since we're such a digital world now, but there's the we have a FAR AIM. We have a FAR AIM book that are the rules of aviation. That thing is thick. That thing I think might be thicker than a Bible. It's all the rules about who does what, when and where, in what order, so we all stay safe. And that thing, I don't think it's this way, but when you open up the first page of that thing should have a title page right there in giant letters that says, "This book was written with the blood of others. This book was written with the mistake of others." Okay, my aviation accident was a series of bad decisions on my part. Okay, I went up flying one day here locally in Oklahoma, and it was very, very windy. Number one, probably shouldn't have been doing that. Okay, I went up flying with a full plane of people. Probably shouldn't have done that. Okay, and then basically it was a very bad landing, to put it to you that way. Okay, nobody got hurt, nobody died, but it was just a very, very bad landing, and it weighs on me to this day. It was a series of bad decisions on my part. It really was, and that's what happened there. So let's wait for the people the people who are experts at this, the people who are in DC, the NTSB, the FAA. Let's wait for them to do their job. We have a pretty good idea, but let's wait for these voice recorders to come out. Let's not try to guess. Okay, and if you see people guessing online, or you see people saying, "Oh, I've flown that route a million times in the back of the plane, I can tell you what's going on. It was the chopper pilot's fault, or it was the pilot or the RJ's fault." Nope. Let's shut up and wait. Sometimes in life, we just have to shut up, and we don't do that enough. And I you know what? Normally, I'm a pretty easygoing guy, pretty level-headed. But no, there are just some times where we have to shut up and let experts do their job. And out of anybody, I would expect the person at the top of government who manages thousands of departments to know that. And that person didn't do that. Not only that person not do that, that person has already laid blame on a group of people, okay? And this happened less than 24 hours. That to me is poorly. Less than 24 hours where they're still pulling bodies of kids out of the water to sit there and lay blame on someone. And then he put frosting on his shit show. And when someone asked him, "Why do you think it was because of this particular government policy?" Common sense. Nah, common sense would have made you shut the fuck up. Okay? And I'm sorry for the adult words. It's a little bit of Patrick, a little bit of a little bit of Black Patrick bubbling up. Okay? You got White Patrick. White Patrick is the guy you see order the grande flat white with 2 Splendas in Starbucks. Black Patrick is, "Hey, Mr. Leader of our government, shut the fuck up." Okay? Although that's a key. That's a Key and Peele skit right there. It's White Patrick versus Black Patrick. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna stop going on my bitch fest. Please let me know in the comments how you feel about what's going on with the different things here. And then last night in Philly, um, um, something we can all agree on one thing in Philly. Okay, something dramatic happened very fast, and there was no time to recover. Okay, and that happens in aviation sometimes also. Sometimes if you're climbing out and you're at 2,000 feet and a dramatic thing happens to your airplane, you know what? I hope you're good with your maker. I hope you're good with your maker, because you're going to meet your maker pretty soon. Okay, and that's really unfortunate. Also, what Steven say here. Everyone is an expert when they have the luxury. Here we go. Everyone is expert when they have the luxury. Oh, let me see here. Sorry. Everyone's an expert when they have the luxury of hindsight in a situation that doesn't involve men. Unless you're in that very exact situation, you can't comment. Exactly, 100%. We live in a blame culture. Man, Steven, you are lit today, man. You are on fire. So yeah, if you see somebody on the internet making judgments without any information, please try to call them out. And also, if you are the kind of person like me in the past who has chosen to sit on your hands when it comes to things you disagree with, "Oh, I don't want to talk about this, it's politics. Oh, I don't want to talk about this, it's religion." I don't think if you're unhappy with things right now, we have to stop being silent, okay? People who love to spout off at the mouth about being an expert, been guilty of that. People who love to yeah, let's just say the kind of people I'm talking about who love to sit behind their keyboard and their screen and mouth off lies, mouth off conspiracy theories. People like that need to be called out and shut down. Okay, I'm over the past 30 days, I'm feeling less and less the inclination to sit on my hands. Okay, and not everybody can do that. 100%. Not everybody can do that, but I'm feeling it. So my whole goal with the show today was just to kind of get some things off my chest to give you, Stephen, and you, Ryan, and who else was up here, Richard Hayes, and my journey, to give you guys a chance to vent and and get some things off your chest, because we as a country, need to band together and see what we can do to get us back on the right path. Okay, it really is. We really do. I'm feeling more and more the need to watch Hamilton these days. Okay. Uh, yes, it was a group of racist white people who owned slaves, but they were a group of people, in my opinion, our founding fathers were racist, misogynistic bigots, but they also knew the basis of forming a halfway decent government. Okay. And I've done my reading on this. I'm not just knowing this because I'm a fan of the musical. They put rules in place. They structured our government in a way to keep us all in check. And the challenge has happened now that when we have the three groups, the three separate branches of government that are supposed to keep each other in check, we have a challenge that when someone controls all three branches, either implicitly or explicitly, we are headed down a dangerous path. And I really hope something happens dramatically soon that alters that path. And like I said, I'm trying to figure out ways I can get more involved. I don't know if I can do it at the federal level, but at the local level, and not just voting campaigns or stuff like that. I'm just getting more and more interested in the whole lawmaking process and what goes on in my local executive, judicial, and legislative branches here. I'm feeling that more and more these days. Um, let's see what Ryan say here. To clarify, I mean the butterfly effect in a way. You can do everything by the book, and your number will come up at the end. 100%, man. I think my fellow crew member and I have a hyper vigilance since the last two accidents. I 100% believe you have, Ryan. I 100% trust in your safety, man. There's absolutely nothing that the RJ could have done differently. 100%. It was by the book, and like you said, we do this stuff every day. I think it's clear that it's time for some regulation to finally put the label of flight as dangerous. Finally put the label of flight as dangerous and look into the processing instead of pilot error every chance they get. And yeah, in addition to all this other stuff, here's been my line, and Ryan, please keep me in check on this. My technical take on this, my take on this, my fact-based take on this, not my blame center take, my fact-based take on this is landing fixed-wing traffic in the world of aviation has priority over rotary traffic. As a general rule, planes that are more maneuverable, like machines that are more maneuverable in the air, aircraft, helicopters, should give right of way to planes that are less maneuverable and less vulnerable. A landing plane at relatively low speed for that plane at a low altitude on a glide path to land is very vulnerable. Okay? That plane had right of way. 100% by the book. That plane had right of way. That plane cannot alter directions fast. It cannot alter altitudes fast. It can alter speeds fast. That helicopter can go up, down, left, right, backwards, forwards. That helicopter can just stop. That's one thing. What Ryan was talking about, if that helicopter had just stopped 10 seconds, just stopped, done nothing, just stopped, this might have been able to be avoided. That plane, that CRJ can't do that. That CRJ has to be going someplace at all times, has to be going forward. It can't go backwards like a helicopter. It can't hover like a helicopter. It can't go left or right. It can't do any of that. If that helicopter had just stopped 15 seconds earlier, might have been a close pass, and the biggest headline on CNN right now would be, "Ooh, close call at DCA." Okay? So If you're looking, again, this is not blame. These are the rules of aviation written in blood. Someplace around here, I have a poster. I have a horizontal poster that shows the priority, the right of way rules. Okay. It shows the right of way rules in aviation. As Ryan said here, that is correct. Swept wing aircraft in a dirty configuration. For those of you that don't know, a dirty configuration is gear down, flaps down, um, basically in a landing configuration. That's considered a dirty configuration versus when you take off and you're at high altitude and you're going on your way. Flaps go up, gear go up. You're in a clean configuration. This plane was in a dirty configuration. Okay, he and the pilots were focused on landing. They were hyper focused because they're looking for reasons. They're making sure that everything is in the right place at the right time. They have check marks. They have markers during the landing process, and when they have to be at a certain marker, at a certain altitude, at a certain speed to proceed with the landing. And if for any reason there's any doubt of a safe landing, they are looking for a reason to go around, clean up the plane, get it from the dirty configuration to the clean configuration, and go around. They're looking for a reason to abandon the landing. Okay, if they had seen the helicopter, you know, half a mile ahead of them, they would have called to go around. Okay, they would have called to go around. They have procedures for that. Ryan does them. Ryan has practiced them 1,000 times, I'm sure. Okay, but they were, as far as they were concerned, in their dirty configuration, they was nothing in front of them, and they were good. They were good to go. Okay, and they had the right of way. They had the right of way. So again, if you ever see anyone trying to guess about what happened aviation wise, you can talk to them about the right of way rules. Okay, that plane had the right of way in that particular airspace at that particular time. Okay, let's move on. What else can we do? Just a reminder also that we're at the very, very beginning of this. It's not like we're a year in our political journey, our political battles. So let's keep working on that. And then I'll close with something I read during my last live stream. Out of all people, it was Chappelle. If you're a Chappelle fan, let me know. Chappelle said, "The presidency is no place for petty people. Whether people voted for you or not, they are counting on you." I want those eggs down. Whether they like you or not, they are counting on you. The whole world is counting on you. Good luck. Do better next time. And do not forget your humanity. Okay? That's what I'm working on right now, my friends, is trying to remember my humanity. And thank you for joining today. Hopefully we'll get outside and get some fresh air today. Here in Oklahoma, the weather is clearing up. And I'm hoping to get outside and get some fresh air in my lungs because the sunlight lifts me up. The sunlight puts me in a good mood. I just realized that I didn't do my fancy schmancy lights behind me like I normally do. You know what? I have a whole app that controls my lights when I'm doing this because let's get the colors going. Is the darn app going to work? Are the colors going? There we go. We've got colors going now that we're here in the last 5 seconds of the show. But anyways, thank you, as always, for tuning in. Hopefully you'll have a good day. Let's get you some fireworks right there. I'm going to hop off. I'll be at my desk working for a while, but I am hoping to get out and get some fresh air. And again, if you have anything you ever want me to talk about privately, feel free to text that number that was on the screen, 405-217-4752. Hey, Stephen, love back to you, man, at the UK. Ryan, please say good morning to Hannah. Hannah, if you're watching, hopefully you all hopefully the household and the kids are not sick. I know, Ryan, you were sick there for a little bit, man, but hopefully you were on the mend. And my heart goes with you, man. Blue skies up. Blue skies up. Hope you have a safe flight coming up, man. And I will talk to everyone later. You have a good day.